mankind won't be destroyed. The fact that you and I are working here today is evidence of that.
Well, Ronan, we can always tease something that we are working on. Doesn't necessarily mean that it will be out instantly. SES is doing the same, by the way. For example, 4 years ago, they announced that they will be working on tandem trailers and rigid trucks, but up till now, 4 years later, they still haven't released anything. Well, the 150 kilometers an hour hard cap on the speed was introduced to keep the vehicles at least somewhat controllable, because we noticed that when you go above 150 kilometers an hour, vehicles in the multiplayer mod become extremely hard to control, causing more issues than solving them. And yes, when it comes to introducing new trucks to the game, that's not us, that's SCS that does that. Well, when it comes to SCS events, there's not really much we can do. We don't really do serious modifications to the base map for events, because especially with the one that's currently ongoing now, yeah, the destination switches every 3 days, so it takes us more time to actually make a change to the map. And then the destination is already switched down, so we did it once for ATS with the Big Sur event, but that event was running for weeks, so then it was actually possible for us to make a change to the base map, because we had the time. Now we don't. Why is the ban system in UTC? We work with UTC because that is a universal time, which is the same everywhere in the world, and also is not affected by summertime. And you can actually set your website time to a different time zone if you go to your TruckersMP settings on the website. What the hell is going on? I need to turn the sound off. It's a little bit too loud. And a new truck coming into ATS, not that we know. And yes, if you want to recruit for any position, then you need to do it when there's actually a demand for it. Why do you want to toy speed between other players? What do you mean by that? That question doesn't really make sense to me. The AI, Nicholas, is still being worked upon. But I can say to you that it won't be anytime soon. Will there be a Canadian server? Asks Jacob. Well, it's something that you can always suggest, but in order for us to set up a server in a certain area, there needs to be a sufficient demand for it. And when we do put it up, if you want to keep it operational, then it needs to be used sufficiently. Because otherwise, we are putting in money for a server that is not being used. Well, you say that if we don't remove the hard cap on the speed, but that hard cap has been there for these like 1 to 2 years now, and we are not losing players because of it. And Simon, if you want to be unbanned, then you'll have to make a ban appeal. And my biggest advice would be not to get banned in the first place and play by the rules. Well, Robert, we had an American server and there were never more than 100 to 200 players on at any given time. So yeah, that's one of the main reasons that that server does not exist anymore. Because keeping up a game server for this mod and game costs a lot of money. Will there be events on ATS? Yes, most certainly. Not too long ago we had the racing championship that went on ATS. We always switch it up. Well, it looks like Posen is a little bit busy here on EU1. Well, Simon, even if you have lag, you need to take into account that you still need to be able to react properly. And yes, ATS is indeed not as popular. And it's mostly because of lack of content. Will there be eventually other car models other than the Scout? No, we don't plan on changing anything with regards to the Scout. Do we know when event team or game mods recruitments are open next? No, we don't. As of now, we don't really need extra people in those departments, so there is no recruitment for it. Vigo asks, is this the new location for today? Yes, indeed it is. Since this morning it has changed to Potenham. Since I'm new on the server, can I make a skin for a trailer and will it then work? Well, you can make a local only skin, but only you will be able to view it. If I'm not mistaken, the rest of the server. I'm not controlling what the cap is. MPV traffic when? Not anytime soon. Wow, that guy's flying thing. It wasn't stuck in traffic. And English only in chat, or I will give you a timeout and eventually a ban in chat. Taken the other way into town. Will the champion event get something for competing? Yes. As for our last event, the spring giveaway, the top 3 got rewarded with a few DLCs. My TMP dev don't work on not problems. On what problems? I think you're using a word that doesn't exist. And also, don't discuss your bans here in stream chat. There's no need for it. We have all the channels that we need for that. Cassandra. Currently, anything that sits in /home is blocked because we have found out that many of the mods that are used in there are kind of causing problems. So that's why those are no longer allowed. But if you do it correctly, then use the mod correctly, then you can still use them. I want EU1. When will the what US map? No idea what you're talking about. Hello there, Soren. I don't see that. That's all over. Can we have traffic or multiplayer? No. Hello, the man. How are you? And yes, 60 people in EU1, that's a lot of you. We are not really used to that, hey?
Thanks, guy.
Let's see, where are we going to next? I don't want to go too far, let's go to Munich.
Stop him. Офигеть, сколько ты народу просто.
Will you guys have a winter mod for ATMs for TruckersMP? Probably not. Winter mod is now disabled. Let's see. Do we have an event trailer here? Well, Gabriel, if you're going to places where there are a lot of people together, then obviously you will have higher ping and higher, well, lower frame rate. Because a lot more data needs to be sent from the server to you. Hello there, Cornelio. How are you? And Bosick. So, let's see. Mic up and on the rest of the audio down. Hello there, Zenyo. Why is ETS map bigger than the ATS map? Well, basically because SES has developed a lot more content for ETS than for ATS. That's the simple reason. Now with our next cargo, let's make sure that we go into town the not so busy way. Can you appeal a permanent ban? Yes, you can. And it looks like our special guest for tonight might finally be arriving.
I'm here. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry about that.
Hello there, Jeff. How are you?
I'm doing all right.
So for those who don't know, Jeff is a game manager. So now
Yep,
we can all...
This one.
Now everyone can ask the nasty question about game moderation.
Oh boy.
Hello there, Creek.
You want a E1?
Yeah, I'm on E1, currently driving from Munich to Poznan.
Okay.
Jacob, you can appeal any ban basically. Doesn't necessarily mean that it will get accepted. And all game moderators that are watching the stream, careful now because your boss is in here as well. And I'm pretty sure Nvidia messed something up with their latest update. Because my frames are totally out of whack now. Dawson, you only get kicked for not having lights on when the server actually detects you're moving. And then you get a 15-second warning. So probably you didn't have a handbrake on and started moving a little bit, and then the server detects that you're moving, don't have headlights on, and then you will get a warning and eventually get kicked if you don't enable them. Stop that. As I said earlier in this stream, that project still requires a lot of work. And currently we have different priorities when it comes to development. Well, Steve, you can actually request a private server for hosting an event, but not a permanent dedicated server for someone. So basically what you can do is, if you meet the requirements, you can request an event server, and for the time of your event you will have an extra server available to run your event. Also with an own set of rules, and I think Jeff can give you further details on what the requirements are for those special rules for events.
Yeah, so in order to actually get a dedicated server, I believe you need the 100 users for the event. I believe that's what it is to get a dedicated server. And we're actually, I think the waiver requests are coming, and that'll be changing how people can ask for those, if it hasn't changed already. I think a big issue, if we were to allow people to host their own dedicated servers, that would essentially break this community apart, because everyone would have their own little servers. You wouldn't get the population that you get now in EU2 and EU3 during the peak hours.
Yeah, and also servers are extremely expensive.
They are, yeah.
And yes, we do indeed have an official Discord server. You can link your Discord account through your TruckersMP profile settings, as a few others have already noted in chat. Oh, you made it.
Made it. I do need to get fuel though. I apologize.
We just passed somewhat a fuel station.
Yeah, well, I just TPC'd here, so.
How many? What's the distance that you still have left in your tank?
I have 167 kilometers.
Oof. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
might turn into Nuremberg then.
yeah. Are you going north of Nuremberg? Or are you going west?
North
North.
to
Oof.
Transporten, but we can turn into town for
Is
a
there
quick
a
fuel
fuel
up.
station there? I don't want the garage, so
Oh, I think it's only a garage actually.
yeah. Certainly, there's got to be one north of here.
Probably. Any news about the game? Well, still a lot of work to be done. Is it going to be possible to sync random traffic events with other players? Well, it's basically the same issue that we have now with developing AI. Well, converting AI to multiplayer. Because AI traffic and also the events are created locally on your client. So there needs to be a way to, let's say, disable AI and random events at player side, but then force it through server side. Man, that's not always easy to do, because they're generated in your local area.
Yeah, that'd be awesome if they were synced. I'd love that. I just would think like if they were to change, it might cause lag for a couple seconds if all of them were to spawn in.
Yeah,
They were dynamically changing.
it already causes a little bit of lag when players spawn in.
Yeah. Yeah, so if you try to wipe the entire map and dynamically add some new random events, might cause some issues.
Yeah, Gabriel, what you were explaining there in chat, I think it's caused by your local internet, really. Well, maybe not necessarily local, but your overall connection to the server. Because you can have good internet locally, but if there are a few hops in between your location and our server location that are not ideal when it comes to processing and speed, then you might have a bad connection. Hello there, Julio Cesar from Brazil. And it's always best to pick a server that is close to you. Well, Gabriel, we haven't made any changes to our mod when it comes to connections, and the servers are also still the same. Jeff, maybe you want to explain what's allowed for double trailers in Europe, because there's a question about that in chat.
Yeah, I was just about to address that. So, the reason why they're allowed in Calais is because of the ferry, and the train. I guess the train's in Calais, isn't it? To take to the UK. So if they're allowed in the UK, it's easiest to allow people to drive across the ferry there. But obviously, you can't go much further outside of Calais without getting the message about being kicked if you continue to drive into that area.
Sure, it's allowed to drive with your axle raised. It doesn't really affect anything.
And you don't have to have a World of Trucks account to play multiplayer, but if you want to participate in any of the World of Trucks events, then you need to link your profile to a World of Trucks account.
Well, Logs Gamer, if your truck does a wheelie when you accelerate, that means that you're trying to pull a trailer that is too heavy for your current truck setup. And then it would be better to lower your axle or take a different chassis that delivers more power to the wheels.
See if I can make this petrol station up here.
It's only a little bit further up.
I've got 62 kilometers.
Where's it going to be close?
Yeah.
Okay, everyone in chat, will Jeff make it or not?
Yeah. See here. Hopefully it's all downhill.
Stefan, if you delete your TruckersMP account and then recreate it with the same Steam ID, then all your bans will remain. It's a safety measure that we have built in to the account system. And deleting your account and creating a new account with a different Steam account, if to remove your bans, would be ban evading. Within weather sync in multiplayer, well, we had it, but it wasn't really working as planned because for some reason it kept raining. It didn't really matter what settings that we were using, it was just keeping to continue to rain.
Alright, all filled up.
Alright, well, let's continue.
The
Discord is like acting up now. Stefan, no, punishments never get deleted. So Jeff, are you still a robot or not?
Am I still
Still a little bit.
robotic? Okay, well.
It's improving though.
Okay. The game isn't bad. It's what it usually is.
Yeah, I think it's just Discord again.
The Discord, yeah. I wasn't able to check my ping in there. Still driving. I was trying to. I guess Stefan didn't hear what I was trying to address. The punishment history on your profile will never be deleted, but after a year, from the date the ban ends, it will no longer count towards your ban history. It'll still be there, but it won't count towards ban history.
Yeah.
There's an easy way to understand how it works. If you look at your profile, if the dot next to it is green, then it's still active within the year. If it's yellow, it has expired. And if it's red, then that means it. Well, I don't know if you'll be able to see the red dots, actually. But yeah, after a year, they do expire.
Indeed. Is it stupid that people are trying to get multiplayer to work on illegal versions? Of course. Because one, it won't work because we do check your Steam account to see if you have a legit version of ETS installed, or ATS respectively. If you play your in-game radio, can other players hear it? No. If you're playing your regular in-game radio to listen to music, it's only you that can hear it. If you talk through CB, then everyone in the local area can hear it.
Yeah, that would be cool. A bit like Grand Theft Auto, that.
Any special features coming to TruckersMP? Good question. Not that I know of. The only thing big that we are working on still is the AI. But currently, as for development work, we have other priorities, especially with what's coming up in the next version.
Sorry, I didn't mean to flash you there.
I didn't even notice it because I have my high beams on.
Oh, okay.
Because otherwise, people in stream can't see anything.
Yeah.
And yes, playing music through CB is indeed not allowed, but talking through CB is. Although you don't have to start shouting. Hello, just from France. How are you? Is there a schedule for the TMP streams? Well, I try to do them once every month. Because if we do them too often, then everything is already asked. And you can find out whenever we are streaming on our stream calendar, which can be found on the forum in the news section. Simon, we won't just unban you. The only reason for a ban to be lifted is if it was put up by mistake, for example a mistaken ID, or the reason wasn't valid, but if the reason is valid, then your ban won't really be lifted. Jeff, for you, what would be the most ridiculous reason for an unban B that you have already seen since you became a game moderator?
The most ridiculous. That talk was like roping again. Is Discord? Can you hear me?
Yeah, but it's getting cut off again.
Better.
No, still a bit roboty. But I think it's just Discord that's acting up now.
Yeah. Yeah, my ping's not jumping around.
No, neither is mine, so all my pings are still normal. I think it's just, yeah, Discord as usual. Nixon asked how much euros to become an admin. I would say the question to that is nothing. You need to fill in an application whenever there is a recruitment tournament. And if you fit the requirements that we are looking for, then you can get selected. So Peter, if you say that TruckersMP is corrupt, then you will need to come up with an example of why you think that TruckersMP is corrupt. Because we do everything based on volunteers. We don't make any money. Everything that we do earn gets spent on servers and innovation. Salt, I would say, because you're salty. So Jeff, are you still a robot or not? Still acting up. And yes, you can become a staff member as long as you don't have 3 bans. Well, up to 3 bans. As of 4 bans, you won't be able to apply anymore. Well, with 1 ban, Candyman, you can still apply. What are these doing? Why is my engine dying? Oof! Now you're like horrible robot.
What is going on?
No idea. What gave you guys the idea to make a multiplayer mod? Well, it's more a question for MWL and Rootkiller, but I would say that they wanted to create it because it didn't exist yet. What has been your best TruckersMP moment yet? For me that would be the 2nd anniversary event for Truckers FM. It was a lot of fun organizing all that stuff and creating everything that was required to do so. Well, thanks, cameraman. Hello.
I'd have to think about my my best moment. I've had a lot of good ones. A lot of them. I remember back to the early days a lot when I drive with friends and stuff. That's before I joined the team.
Yeah.
Back in 2014 when we first started all this.
Oh yeah.
It's been a lot of good times with friends.
Gabriel, the reason why we don't enable European trucks in ATS and vice versa is because the trucks are just not available in those games. In order to do so, we'd have to create a mod. And that would be added to the multiplayer mod, and anything added to the multiplayer mod increases the file size, which also increases the download size and time. And since we have 2.5 million users registered that would possibly have to download the mod, we need to take that into account as well. Jeff, someone asked if they ever got a ban for Steam Avatar, if that would be a negative factor to consider their application for a game moderator.
Well, yeah. So each application is reviewed individually. I mean, your ban history is taken into account, of course. But if you don't have a lengthy ban history or multiple active bans that kept you from making a application, as I said, they're reviewed individually. So that I can't say that wouldn't be a factor, but I also can't say it would. Again, it depends on it's mainly going to depend on the content in your application. Like, you're going to have to sell yourself to us. Why are your talents going to be beneficial to this team and this community? That's the big part. we have members on this team who have been banned in the past before they joined, and they're still on this team, and they're fantastic members of this team. So just because you did receive a ban does not mean that it's going to keep you from joining this team. Again, the emphasis is put on, at least the emphasis I put on when I when I look at them, is what are your talents that you're explaining to me? What is the content you're bringing me going to show me? Is it going to prove to me that you'll be a valuable asset to this team and this community, basically?
Yeah.
It's just like applying to a job in real life. Like, why should I pick you over the myriad of other people, many other people in the system who are also applying for that very same job? Why should your talents stand out and be beneficial to us more than the next person's?
Can you use custom double trails? Yes, you can. Will promos ever work? No. So far we don't have plans to integrate promos. To do so would require a lot of work, and we also have to do multiple checks to make sure that, for example, your promos version is a legit one. I am going to take the turn here, because otherwise we're going to be stuck in traffic.
Okay. I haven't visited the new location yet today, so... It did change today, didn't it?
Yeah. Here on EU1 is not that bad though.
Yeah. I've been doing all my deliveries on EU1 except for, you know, me being over in the United States. It's a little bit less busy in the evenings. So you can usually get in and out of the cities fairly easily on EU2.
What parts of the Forerunner mods are you allowed to use? If you're using Forerunner mod, then you can use the entire mod. Can I
Badger, I don't see that being an issue.
Yeah.
I don't see that. Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, I don't see that being an issue at all. I mean, that's not against our rules. But if you actually get banned for drinking and driving or reckless driving because you're, you know,
yeah,
not all there, don't come into the appeal with that excuse because it will not work. I can promise you that.
Although the tag itself is allowed, I would say I don't advise you to use it. Is it possible to get your ban extended because you say something real stupid or offensive in an appeal? I would say yes.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, well, you need to define stupid there, but if you're going to insult somebody, you know, or not be reasonable, you know, then you run the risk of it being extended, especially if you insult the administrator who is handling your appeal. We reserve the right to extend bans based on that criteria. Oh, they're gonna let you in homes. I don't need to go in there, so I'm just gonna hang out outside.
It's a little bit busy here.
It is a little bit busy. You are allowed to drive the speed limit on Cali-Duisburg Road, and I 100% recommend you do, honestly. I mean, this game, you know, I'm not going to dive deep into my personal stance on why I think this game should be played and approached from a simulation standpoint, because, you know, I'm just going to bore everybody with that discussion, but I 100% think you should. Yes, you are allowed to.
Witam wszystkich.
You're better off doing that than you are
Witam.
doing 150 kilometers down the road or anything near
Yeah.
that, because you will run into incidents, and you might not have time to stop. You might not, there's every device connected to your machine has input lag, especially in lower frame rate areas. It's going to take a little bit longer for the game to respond to your input, whether it's keyboard, steering wheel, mouse, controller, whatever it is. So if you don't put yourself in the position to give yourself the space to react to something, you might cause an accident and you may be found at fault. So the safer and more defensive driver you are, the better off you are. Doesn't matter where you are on the map.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Korki jak w prawdziwym Poznaniu.
But no, but to directly
No,
answer your
żebyś
question, if
wiedział.
you're going in there directly to annoy people, that's probably not, the best approach to that.
Ale i tak lepsze niż w Krakowie.
You don't need to go
W Paryżu ostatnio.
somewhere just to harass other people in this game. That's not
Albo nie na tym
it's
serwerze.
not fair to others.
Right, I'm now going to Bremen.
Going to Britain?
Well, I'm teleporting to Bremen. Trying to do the event.
I wonder if I've done the Bremen one yet. I guess it doesn't matter. I can still do the.
Yeah,
You know,
but
if the
it won't-
5 deliveries afterwards.
I don't know. I haven't done the 10 yet, so.
Okay, I might have already done one from Bremen. I don't know. I'm gonna go ahead and drop my truck here and find out.
Please listen carefully.
Gonna be a long drive. Bremen to Poznan.
And I saw someone ask if the new copyright directive will impact how we run the streams. It shouldn't impact it because SES has said that anyone's free to record and stream their games, and the music that we are using has a free license, as an open license, so it shouldn't impact it.
And I really can't wait till Germany gets a complete revamp. All of it.
yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I come across these ridiculous turns on the motorway where I have to slow down to like 70 or below just to
Yeah.
stay in my lane.
I know.
Todd, I use truck books. I love truck book. Trucks book, I think is what it is. Very weird nomenclature.
Scania man, normally for only driving slow you wouldn't get kicked unless you're doing it specifically to cause troubles and block people, but normally just driving slow won't get you a kick.
Oh, I messed that up. Let's try that again. You go ahead. Get out of your way so you can see.
Because for example, last week I was driving on stream and I was doing heavy cargo through the big mountain roads in the Alps. So I wasn't when I was climbing, I was barely reaching 30 kilometers an hour. But just driving slow won't get you a kick.
No, unless it's, you know,
Malicious.
unless you're doing 20 kilometers an hour or something. You know, you've got a line of traffic
doing it to
behind you.
block people, yeah. Are the escort vans going to be available for all players? No. The escort vans are reserved for event people only. To assist with TruckersMP events. What's the favorite TMP event that I've attended?
Lethal.
It was probably one of the anniversary events that we did. I remember when we did one of our anniversary events where team members with admin permissions were hidden across the map. That was really fun. And every 10 minutes or so we were dropping clues as to where we are. Jeff, where are you?
I'm behind you.
Oh yeah, I see you.
I accelerate a little slower than most people probably would expect. I play with a controller, so.
Yeah, I also play with the controller.
Oh yeah.
But I do have a 730.
Okay.
Engine, so.
Yeah, this is 450. All J-spec all the time. Not all the time, but most of the time.
Well, I do a lot of heavy cargo, so if I take a low horsepower engine, I get into trouble specifically because I usually drive on more special roads like the Alps and mountains.
Yeah. That's fair. Bartholomew? Whew. How can you have a transparent menu? Well, there is a slider in your multiplayer settings where you can set the transparency of your windows. London, what is my favorite resort to snowboard in? I have a few favorites really. One of which is Gran Valira in Andorra. It's a really nice resort. You get nice views. Then in Austria that would be Hintertux. It's a glacier resort. And in France I would say Les Deux Alpes. Les Deux Alpes is nice. It's not that big, but you can do some really nice runs with a snowboard there. And they have a really nice park as well. What is my favorite country in the game? My favorite country would be Italy. It's a really nice DLC. What would yours be? Jeff? You get me.
Oh, no. It's breaking up again. I don't know. Discord is having issues this evening. But at least for me it would be Italy. There are really nice countrysides to be driven through. Also really interesting roads, so yeah. My favorite location, ETS2. The Carrara marble mine in Italy. The road into that is really interesting to drive because it's more technical. And the view in the mine is really nice. Yeah, guys. Currently there is no news. Well, today we had a news article. Today we announced the winners for the giveaway that we did. And any news can also be found on our website. Yeah, Jeff, I still can't hear you. I think Discord is still not okay, I guess. No. That swing in my cam is really distracting you. Well, it was a reward for the Christmas event this year. I like it. Although it can be a little bit mesmerizing. Hello there, Marcia from Brazil. Yeah, Drew's, yeah, it wouldn't really make a difference because it's just an issue with one of their servers, I guess. We are using the EU West and lately it has been acting up a little bit. Nothing that we can do really.
Is it still?
Yeah,
like a
still a little bit roboty.
Okay.
It's improving.
You
though.
address. Yeah, is it? Have you answered Rush Gaming's question?
Will we allow some mods? Well, basically, as it stands right now, anything that's using /home is being blocked, and the reason why we have stopped to allow it is because we've noticed that people were abusing it a little bit, and it was causing issues for other players. Easy, I am fine. Although my body is a little bit messed up because of the switch to daylight savings time here in Europe. I'm not really a fan of switching times.
Yeah, people are talking here about getting rid of it
Yeah,
altogether.
2 years or something.
What's that?
in 2 years or so.
Yeah.
And then the European Parliament says, yeah, every member state is free to choose whether you're going to use the daylight savings time or the official winter time. But if every member state is doing it separately, then that's going to create a mess. And now they've
Yeah.
made a statement, yeah, but maybe we should come to a consensus and pick either one of the two.
Yeah, because why would you want to drive across the border into another country and then you're an hour behind?
Yeah, for example, if let's say when that was first announced that and voted here in Belgium, the government said, oh yeah, we're probably going to pick winter time. No, daylight savings time, sorry. And in the Netherlands they said, oh no, we are going to stick to winter time. So you're going to cross the border and then you're still in the same time zone, but still you have to change your time. Makes no sense. And for example, with trains, airplanes, everything becomes a mess. Khan asks if the 150 hard cap on the speed is going to be removed or not. I would say no.
I'll tell you right now, that's not something that I would want to see. If it's gonna, if anything, if you want my honest opinion on that, I think it should go down. I don't think it should get removed. I think it should go down. But this game was not designed to be played at 150 kilometers an hour plus.
Yeah.
There's, you know, I can dive deep into that, you know, on the forums or somewhere else, but there's a particular scope this game is designed to meet and appeal to a certain subset of players, and
Can be done. If you suggest it, then we can look at it. But the most important things that we need to put up a server is, one, there needs to be sufficient demand, and once we set it up, it needs to be used sufficiently. Because servers, especially game servers, that can handle our needs are not cheap.
that is the truth.
Gabriel, we don't officially support mods from the Steam Workshop, and the reason why is that we have our development cycles for updates, and those mods have their own. So when a game update comes out, all the mods are not updated at the same time. So we either have to find a way to have our mod backwards compatible, and have different versions being able to play at once, which is extremely difficult because between game versions there can be differences in maps, so then it's immediately obvious that it won't work. There's also difference in vehicles and changes to vehicles. And the other option is for us to postpone our development cycle, which would require us, for example, to wait for a month until another mod that we want to support is updated, which is obviously something that we don't really want to do.
That's right now. That's really all down to one person, and there's a bit of oversight there. There's some redundant information there at this point. I understand that's something that we do need to address. And I personally would like to see going forward maybe like an RSS feed system inside the launcher where it would pull relevant information and news, because I understand the vast majority of this community does not visit our forums or the website unless they're coming to complain or appeal a ban. So that would be something that in the future going forward we do need to address, because people would be able to see the news that way, because right now really the only way to see the news if we're not updating that launcher is on our website.
Yeah. Although, we do have to say that from time to time we do play around with ideas to improving the launcher, but then yeah, it's obviously the question of, is it doable?
Yeah,
these that we want. You have 9 of 10 complete, but you can't find one trailer to finish the event. What you can do is, on your World of Trucks account, there you can see the different cargoes that you have done. And I would make a list of all the cities that you started from to pick up a trailer, and then combine it with the list of cities, of origin cities that is available in the event information. In the event information there you can see a list of cities where the different trailers start from, and I would compare that with your Truckers World of Trucks log. Wow. Game lights, street lights already go off at 5:30.
yeah.
What the hell? Even in real life in the summer they don't go off that early. Hello there, Norton Games. How are you? was actually the first time today that I crossed the border here in Poland where there was no one waiting here.
Really?
Yeah. Slava, with regards to the add-on team, we are always looking for people to join, but the requirements are very specific for the team. And even though we have done a round of recruitment not too long ago, we didn't really find any people that met our requirements or that could give any sort of proof of the skills that they claim to have. But the team is not dead. It's just currently hard to find skilled people for it.
Beagle, I believe you can. I think once you finish the 10, the next step is getting just 5 deliveries to 5 different cities at that point. I think, what are we, 4 cities in already?
Yeah, I think so.
I believe that's the secondary objective after this first one, which is, you know, obviously deliver all the cargoes. Then you do at least 1 delivery to 5 different destinations.
But I don't think that the destinations that you've already reached already count to those 5. I think it's first the 10 different trails and then 5 different cities afterwards.
Yeah, I think that's step 2 of 2 after you've completed the primary one.
Otherwise it would be too easy.
Mm-hmm.
Will the add-on team add another vehicle to drive with? No. The scout car is the only other vehicle that we are going to put in. It was basically put in to have some more variety in the game, with the lack of AI, obviously.
You're always welcome to use them as pilot cars and, you know, with your friends.
Yeah. But the event and such that you saw in our latest convoy and the other vehicles that were used in the big event not long ago, they won't be made available for players. Do I play GTA 5? No, I don't. I don't really like GTA. Yeah, I also don't really see a reason for a bus to be available in TruckersMP. People already have sufficient difficulties to properly drive a truck and a car, let alone a bus, because that handles completely different.
Yeah, I see a lot of people driving their trucks like they driving a car too. They forget they have a trailer on the back and it's hitting everything. So you play Fortnite, Prime?
Nope.
Yeah, I've never
Legends,
touched
though.
that game. Oh, you do?
Yeah. I think
I was
I've-
thinking about trying that one.
I think I've played like 10 or 20 matches or so in it.
Yeah, I was thinking about playing that. I usually don't go near free-to-play games very often just because I'm not a big fan of their models.
I do like to play World of Warships.
You know, I did play what was it, War Thunder. I did play that one. I had some fun with that.
Oh yeah.
Guido, anything and everything SCS officially releases, we'll do our best to support. So if they were to release, the bus DLC they've been talking
Going
about,
to take the exit here again.
Okay. We'll do our best to support anything that they bring out, as long as it's not impossible or too difficult, like the special transport with the AI.
Yeah, and also the cargoes that are special and much wider and longer. The length is not really the issue, it's most likely the width that is the issue, because you're kind of blocking multiple lanes.
Yeah. You taking a left up here? You said?
Yep. Go
you
and
take
take the same route as before, but
Okay.
it's much more calm.
Cool.
And then I'm probably going to end the stream because it's already 10 in the evening for me. And I need to go to work.
Did I go the wrong way? Oh, did you take a right?
Yeah.
Took a right, okay. I asked left, you said yes.
Oh, yeah, my bad.
Yeah, who did make the car model? It was one of MWL's friends, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's one of MWL's friends. But it took like 2 years to make the first version, so. And yes, we are not related to SCS. We are completely independent. As is any mod that is available for ETS or ATS. Looks like more people found out about the way around the traffic.
No way around. You're right.
Well, Guido, that will depend on SCS themselves.
This guy got his left turn signal on up here or what?
I can't see anything.
Okay.
My eyes over still can't see anything.
Yeah, I don't think he does. 422 is not sitting on the left side of the road.
He's moving now. And the other guy, I don't know what he's trying to do. At TruckersMP official, will you make TMP mod beta to help developers test mod functionality? No. Anything that we do with regards to testing before anything is released is done internally. So, since it's already almost 10:15 in the evening for me, I will be ending this stream. And I personally will probably see you probably on Wednesday when I'm doing another stream. On Wednesday I'll be doing another episode of the Sim Show where I drive around EU1 to show off some of the more lesser used areas on the map. And on Wednesday I'll probably be doing the UK, because I haven't done that yet, so it will be a nice drive around the UK on Wednesday. But for today I will say to everyone a very good evening, and I hope that tomorrow you have the start of a very nice week. Can we add roadworks that change every week so you have to drive another route? That would require a lot of work basically, because that would require a map edit for each change, which is a lot of work to test and implement. When is the next Ask TMP stream? Usually the Q&A streams are usually near the end of the month. So if I look at my calendar, see April. It will probably be in the week of 15th of April or in the week of the 28th of April. So anywhere between the 15th and the 28th of April. So for tonight I will say goodbye to everyone and I hope you all have a very nice evening.
I don't deny there's some strange evolutionary process going on, but mankind won't be destroyed. The fact that you and I are working here today is evidence of that.